Hey everybody, the unconscious not here. This is the channel where we explore the unconscious. I saw an article yesterday about how 15 to 20-year-olds have a higher rate of autoimmune disorders and chronic pain in the recent years, and how doctors are baffled at this recent surge of these chronic conditions. Doctors are baffled. Doctors are always baffled when it comes to chronic conditions and autoimmune stuff. They say they're incurable. There's no cure. You only can do symptom management and pain management and just live with it the rest of your life. I mean, that's the option I was given. Just deal with it. Symptom management. Here, take some painkillers. Here, take some biologics. But we have no idea what's going on. Don't get me wrong. Modern medicine is amazing. Is a miraculous for acute things. If you break your leg or get in an accident, man, modern medicine, that'll save your life. But something acute, it's great. Something long-term, chronic, incurable, you're really kind of on your own. You'll get sent around, get sent for the loop, get sent from the one doctor, general practice, to an orthopedic, to a rheumatologist, to this, to that, to this. They'll just send you in a circle. Then the rheumatologist will send you to a different rheumatologist, and then you'll find a different doctor. We're not quite fit. They don't quite fit. And they'll find a better fit for you, etc., etc., etc. Every doctor has a different opinion. Why would 15 to 20-year-olds be getting a higher rate of autoimmune disorders? I've seen people say, well, maybe it's the microplastics in the food and the water, maybe it's the air, something in the air, maybe it's the bad diet, maybe it's the chemicals on the grain and in the bread and all this stuff. I've heard all these things, but the answer is so much more obvious. The answer is right in front of our face. What are 15 to 20-year-olds? What have they been raised with? They're the first generation that's been raised completely like that. That's why they're called the iPad generation, iPad kids. From when they're little, they've had technology in their hands their whole life. And imagine technology, what that does to the brain. It puts you in a state of fight or flight. If you have been around constant stimulus since you were little, every time you're not with your phone, you're going to feel unease because it seems like you feel out of place, you feel uneasy, you have difficulty interacting socially with other people, you're more self-conscious, you're overthinking things. Your attention span is much less. I know in my recovery, when I recovered from ankylosing spondylitis and which chronic pain and anxiety, I had to reduce my technology vastly. I had to get rid of the smartphone. I had to do a lot of stuff. I had to stop looking at any social media, all negative stuff, programming my unconscious. But I digress. The 15 to 20-year-olds, imagine this. Comparing yourself, when I was little, here's a better example. When I was little, I played piano. And when I played piano, I compared myself to maybe two people who played piano, my mom, the lady at the church who played the organ, and I wasn't that good at piano, but I wasn't terrible, and it didn't discourage me. Now, kids who are learning a musical instrument, say you're 12 or 13 years old, you go online, there's a 12 or 13-year-old who is a prodigy. And guess what? They're making YouTube videos that blow you out of the water. There's no way you'll ever be that good if you practice 50 years. And guess what? You get discouraged. It's discouraging to see somebody that good, that young. You just kind of give up. Now imagine you're a young woman. You go on Instagram, you're comparing yourself to all these different models and airbrushed and AI, not even real people, but people don't realize this. They're not even real. Fake living, fake lives, all this stuff. And suddenly you're telling yourself, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. And when you get that programming going, social media since you're 12, you get that programming going that I am not enough, comparing yourself over and over to other people, by the time you're 15, 16, 17, that's ingrained, that's in your unconscious. And when you say you're not enough, your body gets put on a state of high alert. Something's wrong with me, therefore I need to attack myself, I need to figure out what's wrong, turn the immune system on, turn the pain receptors on. Something's not right. The alarm bells are going off in your head. You don't know what's going on. IBS is way up. Okay. What is IBS? So, somebody put this to me a really simple way. Imagine when somebody frightens you or you have something really scary happen, you get squeezy stomach. Some people even vomit when they get scared. You have a queasy stomach for an hour or two. Now, imagine if you've been nervous and scared your whole life. You're going to have a stomach ache your whole life. You're going to be shitting your pants. It's not fun. Speaking as a person who had IBS, and all the stomach problems that you could think of. I had the classic symptom, like I was obsessing with my stomach, obsessing with pain. I was always worried. And when somebody told me that, I was like, oh wow, that makes perfect sense. That getting out of fight or flight is the key to letting your body come back into a more relaxed state. I also heard somebody say, well, no, actually it's from COVID. It's from that is causing these autoimmune issues. If that's true, that's fine. Viruses, especially COVID, which was bizarre, and all these, I heard other viruses can trigger autoimmune disorders like strep and all these things, and bad bacteria can trigger autoimmune things. If you have a bad infection, it can trigger autoimmune. That's true. Your body has been put in a state of high alert. The answer is just the same. I know so many people who've had I know one guy who had reactive arthritis caused from a virus, and he recovered the same way using mind-body techniques, letting go. The same techniques apply. Just because it has a trigger and you can specifically pinpoint it doesn't mean you're hopeless. Like Lyme disease, same thing. You have a specific point where you've been triggered. Okay, now let's get your body out of fight or flight. Let's recover. Your body has to heal some way. You get put in these situations when you're sick, your body's on high alert. You got to get back into rest and recovery. Rest and recovery is key. I also saw 35 to 40-year-olds have higher rates of autoimmune. That's when they first show up. That's on the rise as well. Well, what happens when you're 35 to 40? I had my worst symptoms at 35. They built up from the time I was about 18 to 35. 18, anxiety getting bad, stomach issues. Then later 20s, the hip pain started being more prevalent and then it culminated to just full-blown autoimmune when I was 35. Right when the study said that's when people develop it the most, 35 to 40. Well, it's midlife crisis time. What happens when you're 35, 40? You reflect on your life. You're not who you thought you were going to be. You wanted to be a rock star. You wanted to be ride your BMX bike around. You wanted to be famous. You wanted to do XYZ. You wanted to have a mansion. You wanted to do all this stuff. And somewhere unconsciously, you're not feeling like you're enough and you missed out on all this stuff. How do you deal with it? Well, you can deal with it a couple ways. Some people deal with it by developing a chronic back pain, and then they spend all their time going to doctors, going to chiropractors. It becomes their thing. I know a guy who's 41, my age. He goes to the doctor 3 times a week, a chiropractor, and he goes to an orthopedic, and he gets injections. He's obsessed with it. It's his hobby. His hobby is going to the doctor. And guess what? It works because it distracts him from his life. The back pain has a purpose. It's a distraction from your life. It's definitely distracting you from what you really want to be thinking. Like, your body protects you from those harsh thoughts of I am not enough, and it protects you from things like maybe I'm a failure. Sometimes you just got to face those thoughts. Really say, body, I can handle it. Just say, hey, body, I'm safe. I can handle those thoughts. Because they're not true. You are enough. You're always enough. Allow those feelings to come. And when you allow those feelings to flow through you, that's when you can let them go. David Hawkins, in his book, aptly named Letting Go, talks about letting go. Embracing it. Embracing the feeling. Don't push anything away, because the only way you can let it go is by accepting and let it flow through you. Just let it flow through you. Like, let these negative thoughts flow through you. Another thing with the 15 to 20-year-olds developing all these things, if you can't sit still and if you can't let things flow through you, you're not going to be on a path to recovery. If you're told stillness is not good and you need to be going, you're not going to recover, my friend. If you're constantly thinking you need to grow and do this and that, there's always something you got to be doing to improve. That's insanity in itself. That's gonna lead you on a path to more pain. It's not pain. It's not no pain, no gain. That's not what it is. That's not how we do it here. If I was giving advice to probably a young adult who had one of these symptoms, I would say, start slow. Start reprogramming. Start reprogramming by changing what you look at. Cut out all social media. If you can't do that, if you say, well, I can't cut out social media, well, then you're obviously addicted. Oh, I can't cut out my screen time. Well, you're addicted. Or I can't sit still at night. I can't sleep without social media. I can't sleep without looking at my phone. Shut off your phone. 7 o'clock. Cut it off. Go to bed at 10. You can't have it. You can't have it blaring in your face before you go to bed. Your dreams and your rest state is very important. And if you're blasting your unconscious with negativity right before sleep, that's not good for your overall health. I would say cut down on the screen time. Start with some affirmations. Tell yourself, I am enough. Really mean it. Really feel it. Start appreciating your time here. This goes for everybody, not anybody who's just young. Anybody, young or old. I mean, I still need to be told it because I get caught up in the day-to-day of this 21st century nonsense. Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in. Comment below.